All right, welcome to Southwest Flavor. Happy Tuesday to everyone. Thank you for joining us. Today we are talking with Taylor Huffman. She is going to be a graduate, soon to be graduate of cosmetology school. And we just want to talk about her journey going through graduating high school, going into cosmetology school, working full time all at the same time. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Can you bring the microphone up just a little bit closer to you? There you
Yes,
go.
sorry.
That's okay. Tell us a little bit about the journey of cosmetology school and what that entails.
It's been a lot. It's been a really interesting creative experience because I started out doing hair in high school, just like doing my friends' hair, crazy designs, like
Oh,
doing buzz cuts, bleaching them, painting flames and hearts, like crazy
really?
things.
Oh, wow.
And so going to cosmetology school was kind of like working in reverse and learning how to do basic things like cutting hair,
Yeah.
normal haircuts,
Right.
normal colors, things like that. It was a very interesting process to kind of go through the technical parts after only doing the creative.
Okay. So yeah, you kind of did it backwards. You didn't get the foundation first.
Yes.
You did all the creative, arty kind of stuff.
hmm
Yeah.
I I started working at Haven without even knowing that I wanted to do hair yet, because Janae is actually the one that got me that job. She was
hmm
just looking around asking friends if they needed anybody, and they needed a receptionist. And then Tammy asked me if I wanted to do hair in the future, if I wanted to become a hairstylist. And I was like, you know what? Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I would. And she told me she recommended Aveda. So I was like, all right, I'm going.
Wow. Okay. So was that in the back of your mind before that? I mean, since you were cutting friends' hair and all that, did you think this could possibly be a career for me?
Honestly, like a little bit,
Yeah.
but I feel like with my family, they meant well. My mom didn't really care as much, but more so like my grandma.
Uh
She was like, "Oh, why?" Like
huh.
she's like, "You're not gonna make that much money. Why don't you just become?" She said like a pharmacy tech or
Oh.
something. She was just worried.
Yeah.
And then I was talking to. I actually had my high school counselor was the mother of the guy who I would do the designs on, and
Oh.
she was like, "Girl, just do hair. I don't
Yeah.
understand why you're not pursuing this passion you clearly have. Like,
Right.
this would be a successful career for you." So she helped with that. And then the salon helped a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I mean, if you can go into a career right away that you already have a passion for, I mean,
Yeah,
that makes a huge difference.
it makes
Because
it way
a
easier.
lot of us just fall into kind of, either you need a job and so you find that job that for necessity you have to
Yeah.
get. But if you can, get into that career path early on, that's a huge difference.
Yeah, I feel very lucky to have found something that I actually enjoy doing early on. And it is a lot at once, the whole 6 days a week, no break.
Yeah.
But you get it done super fast. The program is 14 months.
Okay.
And to me, that's so worth it.
Yeah.
Like just going back to back and then being done with it and you can start your career. I feel like that's great. I
Yeah.
don't mind
It's pretty
being
much like a
busy.
trade school. I mean, that's
Exactly.
how the trade schools are.
Yeah.
Is you go, anywhere from 12 to 18 months and you just hammer it out.
It's perfect to
Yeah.
me.
But you get not only the book stuff, but you get the hands-on
Yes.
also.
That's the most important thing for me because in like the earlier stages of school, they just have you watch videos and do it
Mhm.
on your mannequin. And I learned a lot from that, but I did not learn anything about hair until I actually started touching it and like
Yeah.
doing color and everything because you have no idea what it's about to come out like. And I've always been a very visual learner.
Mhm.
So when they just throw these random words at you, it's like, I need to see it.
Right, right. Well, I'm
So,
sure you have to like immerse yourself in the language.
yes,
You have to figure out that whole different language of what they're talking about.
absolutely. I mean, it's like when you or Luke talk about AC and plumbing. I'm like, I don't
Right.
know any of these words.
Yeah.
So it's just, like you said, a new language to learn. And sometimes I have to kind of bring myself back when I'm talking to clients or
Mm-hmm.
people about hair, and I'm like, you don't understand a word I'm saying. This is
Right, right. With a client, a lot of times you don't want to get too technical because then you
yes.
lose them. You don't want to nerd out,
Hmm.
and be like, hey, I know this much. I know all this technology, but
Yes.
it doesn't mean anything to someone that doesn't know any of that technology.
Hmm.
So, I mean, people go to you just to look beautiful. They're like, put highlights in my hair or, cut this new fashion or whatever.
Yes. Sometimes they don't even know what it's called, and they'll just be like, do whatever makes me beautiful. Like, all
Okay.
right. Sounds
Do they bring
good.
you like magazine clips sometimes
Yes. A
or
lot
do
of the
they tell you, "Hey,
time.
I'm watching this TV show. Do you know
Yes.
the mom in this TV show? I
Oh
want my
my
hair cut just
gosh.
like hers."
There is a lot of those.
Yeah?
There's like a new show called Yellow Jackets,
Oh
and
yeah.
one of the girls, she has a really cute shag haircut, very heavy bangs and layers, and I've seen that picture a good 10 times
Really?
since the show came out. It's a really cute haircut.
Yeah.
I don't mind the reference. But yeah, a lot of the time when they come in and they don't have like a specific goal and they're
Mhm.
kind of just like, I don't know, do whatever, make me pretty, I will pull up at least 3 reference pictures. So
Okay.
I'm like, we are not just going to do whatever I want to do
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
I feel like people say you can do whatever you want, but then everyone has their preferences. Everyone
Of
has
course.
tones they look better in, certain hairstyles. And if you just do whatever, they are not going to be happy about that.
Yeah,
So I try to tailor it to them.
of course. Guys are easy. I mean, I've had the same haircut for like 20 years. I just
Yes.
go in every month and he's like, "Same?" I'm like, "Yeah, same." And he just does it.
See, I feel like I guess that definitely works for guys, but for me, that makes it a little harder because I'm so used to women who are very specific. Like
Mhm.
they can pick out the exact tone that they want. Some of them even ask me for the swatch book of the colors, and they're
Oh,
like,
wow.
that one. And it's
Huh.
like 10 NGB. I'm like, how do you know what that is? That's
Wow.
impressive.
It's
But
almost like taking one of those swatches for tile and taking it
yes,
to your home and being like, "Okay, which color is going
literally.
to go with my walls and my cabinets and everything?"
Hmm. But then with guys, I've only actually had like 2 or 3 men come into Aveda to get their haircut, but they're just like, whatever. And I'm like, so do you want like a 1, a 2? And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, oh, this is scary. Gives me anxiety because I want to deliver the best possible result and what they would like, but I forget that guys really don't care that
Yeah.
much.
The good thing about a guy is we can put a hat on too.
Oh, yeah.
Like all of us guys have had a bad haircut in
Hmm.
our life. A couple bad haircuts in our life. We have to go somewhere else. We're not going to our regular barber. They're sick or they move away.
Yeah.
And so you get this haircut and then you're kind of like, you have a Gumby head or something, it's kind of, off base.
Gambia.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
just throw a hat on and say, okay, I'm just going to wear my hat for 3 weeks and then
That's so fair. Yeah.
or shave it off and, start new.
I've cut Luke's hair not that great before. Sorry, babe.
It's weird for my hair, and I don't know if it's just because my hair is like real wavy when it gets longer, but
Really?
yeah, but women usually can't cut my hair.
I can see that.
Yeah, and there's very few guys that can cut my hair. I found one guy, I don't know, it was probably over 15 years ago, and so I went to him for a long time, and then he moved to Tennessee. I'm like, oh,
No.
okay. But then I've been with my current barber for over 10 years.
That's one of the cool things about being in hair is when people find you and trust you, they are never leaving.
Yeah.
Like,
You could be a lifelong customer.
yes, I love assisting for my boss is so cool to see sometimes because
Mhm.
we have certain clients like Miss Jerry. I love her. She is the light of my life.
Yeah.
She is 90 years old. She
Ah.
celebrated her 90th birthday with us at the salon.
Oh, wow.
And she told me that she has been coming to Tammy for over 20 years.
Wow.
Like her entire career, she's followed her to every salon she's
Yeah.
been to. And she has so many clients like that. I feel like everybody that sits down in her chair, if I ask them how long they've been there, it's at least 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just really cool to see that like you will have lifelong friends and customers. Like
Yeah.
you develop crazy relationships. They go to each other's weddings. Like,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
because like you were saying, um, in barbershops, like you talk about guy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of hairstyling is like therapy almost. Women come there to vent and to have their safe space, to have a moment to themselves and relax. And so you
Okay.
learn a lot about each other.
Really?
Like I'm sure Melissa and Janae know so much.
Yeah.
And
I never thought about it that way, but it's almost like their escape.
yes.
Like they can escape their home, they can escape their family, especially if they have little kids running around and all
Oh
that
yeah.
chaos that goes with raising a family.
I
And,
feel like
and you
that's
get
the
away
main.
from that for a little bit and you're like, "All right, this is my therapy."
Yes, exactly. I have a lot of I've been getting a lot of interesting like occupations for clients lately, but there's a few that are like I have one that's an attorney and a mother,
Mm-hmm.
or one is a grief therapist and a mother, and
Oh,
like those
wow.
two things I could not imagine not having a moment to just breathe to myself. So they'll be like falling asleep in the chair, things
Falling
like
asleep in
that,
the chair.
because it's just their only moment to relax.
Okay.
And they'll apologize for falling asleep. And I'm like, dude, this makes my job so much easier. Like, I don't mind at all.
Right? They're not moving around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, as long as you get to relax, that's the goal. It's to make you feel beautiful, but also feel better in general.
Right. Right. And like you said, that lady spent her birthday with you guys.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Literally.
Excuse me. And I'm sure, I mean, part of it was she wanted to go in and feel beautiful and, get
Yes.
that new haircut or maybe get the highlights or, whatever, the coloring or whatever.
Hmm.
And it just, on her birthday, I mean, that's the perfect time to do something like that.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know, she just knew that she would feel a huge sense of love. Like, going back, I mean, I hug her every time she comes in. Like, you
Okay.
develop certain relationships where she knew that coming there on her birthday, she would have a great time. We
Yeah.
brought her out a cake and everything. I
Oh,
feel
wow.
like, I don't know, it's a very special little bond that you
Yeah.
get with people.
So it's not just a haircut, it's an experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that even goes for just my school, because a lot of people told me that, like, because it is cheaper, it is a beauty school, like, it's not as luxurious of a service. It's people don't take it as seriously. But I find that that just depends on how you treat it. If you're
Mm.
treating it like it's just a school and you're not getting paid.
Yeah.
Because I have developed great relationships with all of the people that come to see me. I've developed a lot of regulars. Um, there was one lady that she was a very sweet older woman. And I had mentioned my birthday was coming up once. We had one
Oh,
appointment, and the next appointment, she came back with a birthday card and everything. She
wow.
remembered everything I told her.
Oh, wow.
Like, I feel like I developed really good relationships
Yeah.
there too.
And in school, so while you're in school, you're basically like an intern.
Yes.
You're cutting hair. You're not making any money off of it, but you are developing those relationships. And some people could possibly follow you to your next
Yes.
destination when you start your career.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot more requests of like, oh, well, where are you going after this? I want to keep seeing you. And that is such a reassuring feeling because, I mean, I hoped that a couple people would follow me.
Mm-hmm.
But I also had the realistic expectation of like, well, Aveda is downtown. Haven is in Oro Valley. That's already a bigger drive for people.
Yeah, that's a long ways. That's a lot of different clientele because
Yes.
most people don't want to drive too far away from their house.
Oh, yeah. And I completely understand that. Or like, our haircuts are $17. That is a
Oh,
very
wow.
hard price to beat. I completely get that. But
Yeah.
having so many people actually want to follow me was very heartwarming. I felt like, okay, my work is worth it. That's cool. That's
Yeah.
good to know.
It is.
Like,
Definitely.
you want to drive 30 minutes for me? Like, I appreciate it.
Right. Well, they know what they're getting.
Mm.
Yeah. You've already shown them the quality of your work.
Yeah, I feel like half of it is the quality of your work and half of it is just being able to listen to people and have good customer service in that
Yeah.
way. Because I've asked a lot of ladies like what they did and didn't like about past hairstylists they've had just to
Mhm.
see what I could do. And a lot of them just don't feel listened to. is their biggest thing. Like, it wasn't that the hairstylist was not talented, that they couldn't do hair. It's just that they were not really giving them what they wanted or listening to their feedback.
Yeah.
So I just try my best to keep up with that
Wow.
part.
That's really interesting. I didn't even think about that part.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Well,
that's
'cause I think with, I guess, more experienced hairstylists, it's very easy to get stuck in the same little routine that you do. And it's nothing against them. It's just, I don't know, certain teachings. I mean, Aveda teaches you one way to do highlights, and there's 10 million ways to get the same result. So some people kind of get stuck in doing the same routine thing. And when a client asks for something different, they maybe don't know how to do it, or they've never explored other options, so they just go back to what they know.
Sure.
Whereas I don't know any of those things. So I have tried everything. I have TikTok, the internet at my disposal. So any new methods, I immediately start trying on my mannequin. See how I like it.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah.
With that, let's take a quick sponsor break, and we will be back in just a couple minutes.
Shipping packages is a facet of modern commerce. At Tucson Pack and Ship, we work with major delivery companies to make sure your goods get where they need to go. In addition to shipping, we also offer private mailboxes, notary services, and document shredding. We'll also safely pack your valuable items. Tucson Pack and Ship, Tucson's one-stop packing and shipping source.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Spring is here and the hot summer temperatures are not far away. Your air conditioning system is one of the biggest expenses in your house. Maintaining your air conditioner is critical to keeping you cool all summer long. Protect your investment by calling Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or picturoxcooling.com for fast, friendly, and professional service you deserve.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
TRAC stands for Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids. It's a favorite service organization for the Wakies to support. TRAC, located at Dodge and River, is a one-of-a-kind ranch that offers children of various needs an opportunity to serve through interaction with animals. It's a win-win for children and all of our beloved animals. TRAC is eligible for your Arizona tax credit donations now through April 15th. To find out how to get a dollar-for-dollar credit off your Arizona tax bill and help kids and animals, head over to tracktucson.org and go to the Support TRAC page to find out more. Make sure you tell TRAC my boy Smooch the Mini Donkey sent you.
If you ever have water damage or mold, your only call should be to Steamy Concepts.
Yeah, but what if the insurance company says to hire someone else?
Nope, Steamy Concepts works for you and not them.
The internet has tons of options.
No way, you don't gamble with water damage.
But the handyman knows a different guy.
Absolutely not. No way, you just call Steamy Concepts today.
But some companies are cheaper.
And you get what you pay for. You don't want to mess with water damage wannabes.
We're calling Steamy Concepts today.
Welcome back to Southwest Flavor. We're here talking with Taylor Huffman. So, just you've expressed how creative you are, and just I mean, it's part of the job of doing the hairstyling and all the different techniques that need to be done. When you're in middle school and high school, you were part of the dance team, and you talked to me off air about the choreography and be able to express yourself. Tell us a little bit about how that helped prepare you for your career.
Well, I feel like it helped prepare me in multiple aspects, because in middle school when I was dancing, I stopped because I didn't like being told what to do dance-wise. I didn't like being told you need to do this choreography. Like, ew, I don't like that one. I don't want to do this.
Okay.
I would like to do what I want. to my own songs that I choose. And so I stopped for a while, and then I rejoined in high school, and I was able to choreograph my own dances with other girls and collaborate with my friends,
Mm-hmm.
choose whatever music I wanted. And it just gave me a lot more creative freedom in that sense. I'm not really good at, I mean, I can follow good choreography.
Sure.
I was in palm line, so I had to do that all the time.
Yeah.
But I just do better at things I am clearly passionate about. It's hard for me to give that emotion in a dance that I don't really feel it towards.
I can see that. Yeah. And I mean, that's almost with anything in life. I mean, if you're really invested into it, you're going to give it your all. And
Yeah.
there's some things that you're like, some things you have to do and you don't really want to do. But, if it's an activity that you're choosing, you
Mhm.
definitely want to have that passion for it.
For sure. And then like palm line, I feel like that prepared me for life in general. That was
Yeah?
interesting because I was never a sports girl. Like
Ah.
I didn't do anything like that. And so
You're so natural out there.
thank you. I tried.
Yeah.
Um it was very interesting like having a coach and getting into that whole routine of like if you're not early, you are late.
Oh, yeah.
Like on time is
Yeah.
late, all of those things.
Mhm.
Essentially being like you are the face of this team. Like if you are not always prepared to be on camera, prepared to be seen,
Yeah.
then why come out, essentially? Hair always done, makeup always done, clothes presentable. So I
And so
feel
that's
like
all the time at school. Anytime that you're
Yes.
at school, you have to be
it
camera ready.
absolutely
Yeah.
it prepared me a lot for school and work because before I was assisting, I was the receptionist.
Mm-hmm.
And that is truly like my boss was like, no, you are the face.
Yeah.
Like you're the first person that they see.
Right. They walk in through those doors and there you are.
And so I really had to be like, okay, I'm going to learn how to do my makeup. I'm going to learn how to do my hair. I'm going to do more with it. We're going to explore things because that's a lot of pressure, it feels like, to me. So doing palm line kind of took that off a little bit. It made
Yeah.
it a little easier because dancing in front of hundreds of people is much less nerve-wracking than just approaching a couple clients, as you would
okay.
imagine.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know how. I think just you can't see anybody in the crowd.
Yeah.
You can kind
You
of
have
just
those
see
stage
the blur.
lights,
Mm-hmm.
shining on you. So they're kind of in your eyes. You really don't see
Yes.
the audience out there.
So it's like I'm just thinking about what I'm doing in the moment, but then being receptionist, being hairstylist face to face with people,
Mhm.
it's like, well, this is a little scarier. But I think it's also because I was never a huge public speaker of any sort. I was a very socially anxious child.
Okay.
And it didn't show because I've always pushed myself to be more outgoing.
Yeah.
Because I would much rather be outgoing than awkward. But,
But it takes work.
it takes work.
It takes work.
So
Definitely public speaking or preparing speeches or any of that stuff. It takes work.
Yes. And palm line, a lot of the activities we did, we were doing like charity work, kind of community service.
Yeah.
And you would interact with a lot of people.
Mhm.
I forget exactly what it was called. I think it was the Feed Our Starving Children program where you go to the
yeah.
church and you like bag a bunch of
Yeah.
food for kids.
Our company has done that several years.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, like you're talking to everybody. It's
Mhm.
almost like not networking, but like
It is
kind
almost,
of.
yeah. Yeah. And usually you go with a little team and you're at your station.
Yeah.
And then there's kind of some competition who can do the most.
Yes.
Yes. So,
And
it's pretty cool.
things like that had to open me up a lot more socially because I was forced to talk to these people. I was on a school team, so it wasn't like, hey, can you do this? It's
Yeah.
like, you're gonna.
Right. It's part of your involvement with the team.
So I think just exposure therapy of it all with dance really helped me.
Yeah.
Socialization and just being more confident and assertive. That's another thing with like the choreography part, having to getting to do my own and make my own things, you have a lot of decision making to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be very decisive of like, I want this part here. I want everyone to look like this, costumes, lighting, everything. And with hair, you also have to be very decisive because, like I said, sometimes people don't know what they want or they do, but they have no idea how to achieve it. And you have to be like, okay, well, this is the exact step we're going to take. This is the whole process. Very decisive on each color, each tone. I don't know. I think they're very connected processes.
They are. Well, talking about that, do you see differences in your younger clients versus your older clients? Is there a different culture?
Entirely.
Yeah.
I feel like my older clients, they talk a lot more.
Yeah.
But I also think that's just the older generation in general.
Mm-hmm.
They are way more social. They are very outgoing, like talking to strangers on the street. I'll see them sitting in the waiting room and they're talking to the people next to them that they don't even know. Like they're very friendly, very outgoing people. So I find that a lot of those appointments, they are doing most of the talking. Which I don't mind.
Okay.
I love to listen. So I'm just asking them questions about their life and they do a lot of talking. But with younger people, I feel like because we are the same age,
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of them asking me about my life and hair.
Uh-huh.
I think a lot of girls that are younger coming into Aveda specifically are also interested in cosmetology.
Oh.
It's become way more popular
Mm-hmm.
of a career to want to be in as a younger girl. Because I know before it was kind of the older mentality of like, you know, you're not going to make that much money. It's not a real career. But now people are realizing like ladies that own their own salons or even just renting a studio, you can easily make 6 figures plus.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it takes years of work,
Right.
but it's not some little career that means nothing. Like people are definitely more interested. And if anything, there's like an overflow of girls joining cosmetology
Oh, is
school,
there? Okay.
younger.
Yeah, that was one of the things I was going to ask you. I mean, like in the trades and in a lot of professions, there's not that younger generation coming in to replace the people that are aging out.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that
Yeah.
actually.
The trades, I know that like accounting is a big profession that there's not young people that are interested in it.
Interesting.
Law enforcement. There are just a lot of different professions that you're not seeing that younger generation coming into.
Yeah, I feel like we have the opposite problem where it's like huge influx because I mean, my class is literally 4 girls. We started out with 8 and then
Okay.
there's like a shorter program that you can take, but they combine the classes. So 4 of them already graduated.
Oh, wow.
But-
Okay. So they didn't drop out. They just they graduated.
No worries on their part.
Yeah.
But the new class is like 28 girls
Wow.
at once. And I think they just keep getting bigger.
Yeah.
So clearly a lot more people,
Well, that's good.
especially here,
Yeah.
would like to go. So I don't know. I find it very cute that all the young girlies, like my sister and her little friends,
Yeah.
all of them are like, so do you think I should become a hairstylist?
They're looking up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so cute. I love it.
Well, Taylor, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. All right. With that, we are going to go to a quick sponsor break, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes with Southwest Flavor.
Shipping packages is a facet of modern commerce. At Tucson Pack and Ship, we work with major delivery companies to make sure your goods get where they need to go. In addition to shipping, we also offer private mailboxes, notary services, and document shredding. We'll also safely pack your valuable items. Tucson Pack and Ship, Tucson's one-stop packing and shipping source.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Spring is here, and the hot summer temperatures are not far away. Your air conditioning system is one of the biggest expenses in your house. Maintaining your air conditioner is critical to keeping you cool all summer long. Protect your investment by calling Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or picturoxcooling.com for fast, friendly, and professional service you deserve.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing.
TRAC stands for Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids. It's a favorite service organization for the Wakies to support. TRAC, located at Dodge and River, is a one-of-a-kind ranch that offers children of various needs an opportunity to serve through interaction with animals. It's a win-win for children and all of our beloved animals. TRAC is eligible for your Arizona tax credit donations now through April 15th. To find out how to get a dollar-for-dollar credit off your Arizona tax bill and help kids and animals, head over to TRACTucson.org and go to the Support TRAC page to find out more. Make sure you tell TRAC my boy Smooch the Mini Donkey sent you.
If you ever have water damage or mold, your only call should be to Steamy Concepts.
Yeah, but what if the insurance company says to hire someone else?
Nope, Steamy Concepts works for you and not them.
The internet has tons of options.
No way, you don't gamble with water damage.
But the handyman knows a different guy.
Absolutely not. No way, you just call Steamy Concepts today.
But some companies are cheaper.
And you get what you pay for. You don't want to mess with water damage wannabes.
We're calling Steamy Concepts today.
All right, welcome back. Our next guest is Veronica Soto.
Hi, guys.
How you doing?
Good morning.
Familiar face here and live the dream?
I just said, hey, you're in my seat. Good morning. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah,
Trying to
thank
get
you.
comfy over here. I'm like, oh, I'm a guest today.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Veronica. If you guys don't know me, I am the host of the Oversharing podcast. We put a pause on that. I was with Live the Dream Media here for a little bit, which was an amazing experience. But due to a few like life circumstances and things happening and getting back into cheer season, which I know we'll talk about today,
Yeah.
I got a little busy. But my name is Veronica. I've been in Tucson for, I think like close to 13 years now.
Oh,
and I
okay.
was born and raised in Nogales, Arizona.
Okay. So not very far away.
Not very far. I was just
Yeah.
there this weekend with my parents. And then, I don't know. Where do you want me to go? What avenue do you want me to drive through?
Well, just tell us a little bit about your career. So you're a personal trainer.
I am.
You're the cheer coach at CDO,
I am.
which I had 3 boys, go
love
through
that.
CDO. They didn't cheer, but
Yeah. How recent was that?
So Luke graduated 2 years ago.
So he did he
Played football.
state champion
No.
the year before or
The
after?
year before, yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
So that year it was kind of wonky because the day of the state championship was my wedding. So
Really?
I had already planned my wedding and I was out of the country, but I was so sad to miss it because it
Yeah.
was like at the big stadium and stuff. But yes, so I have been coaching at CDO. This is my 4th year. This will be the first full class I see all the way through.
Oh, that's
have
right. Okay.
An estimated 8 seniors graduating this year.
Wow.
So that's been kind of cool to see them like from freshmen all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
And I am a personal trainer. I work at Pursuit Fitness, which is right here off Orange Grove, and straight is I-10, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I-10 in Orange Grove. I've been training since I was 20, so 10 years now.
Okay.
And I absolutely love it. I feel like when people are like, what do you love about your job? I feel like every different avenue of my life has transcribed into like work, or every big milestone of my life at some point has put me right where I need to be. And I really just think that like all the things from being a gymnast, being a cheerleader, being athletic, that was all like the same avenue to like what I do now.
Okay.
And although there's been some transitions in between, like as I don't want to say aged because I'm not old, but as I've gotten older, like
Yeah.
there's been so many different approaches to my health and wellness that have helped me connect with so many different people. So when I was young and a new trainer, I was like, get it. And if you don't, you're lazy, because at that point I didn't have any responsibilities. And then I turned 25 and then hormones get involved, which you don't want to know about all that stuff. But then I started like deep diving into that and connecting with other women who are struggling with hormonal imbalances and just a bunch of different avenues. That's been really cool. And then cheerleading, I've been coaching for a while. When I was in high school, there's a little small local gym. It's actually the same gym that I went to as a gymnast.
Okay.
But I was only there until I was like 6, because then I started training here in Tucson. We didn't have a competitive gym. We only had like a recreational one.
I didn't know that you were a gymnast.
Yeah. So I was a competitive gymnast. I competed for about 8 years, and then I was in the sport for like a total of 14.
Okay.
So again, all these avenues kind of just make sense. And then once I got into high school, I did high school cheer. That's when I started working. So I was a baby gymnastics coach. So I had like the 3 to 5 year olds, which it's fun, but it's a lot of work at that age.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh, how do I chase all these kids around? And then
They don't have the attention span.
No, they don't have the attention span. And we had a little team. It was called the Tinies. And like nobody cares because they're so cute. They can do whatever they want. So that was a lot of fun doing that when I was younger. And then I stopped coaching, and then it kind of fell in my lap. I had a family friend that was like, well, more of like friend acquaintance that was like, hey, there's a job position opening and you should apply for it. And I was like, I'm not sure that I'm like ready yet. Like, I feel like if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And I did. I applied for the position. There was a few other people. And when I left, I looked at my AD in the eye and I said, if you want someone to build a program, I said, I'm your girl. But if you're just looking for someone to pass the season, I said, don't hire me. And
Very
I got
cool.
hired.
Yeah.
So here we are, year 4.
Right. Well, you had the right attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
You have to
definitely.
love it.
You do. You have to love it, and you have to be willing to build. Like you
Yes.
said, you have to build that
Yeah.
structure and that culture.
Yeah, the culture. Oh my gosh. And I think that the hard thing about like the culture is that I came from such an amazing high school program myself. If you guys know anything about Nogales, it's usually baseball and cheerleading. And
Okay.
it's different here because Nogales is really small. So you have all these middle schools who have cheer teams that prepare these kids for the high school level.
And it's only one high school, right?
There's 2.
Oh, there is 2.
There's 2.
Okay.
The Rio Rico district just recently started like implementing cheerleading into the middle schools, but it wasn't a thing before. And here, what's hard is that Tucson's, it's big. Like I know people are like, oh, little Tucson. No, it's getting bigger. There's how many high schools do we have here?
Yeah, there's a lot of high schools.
And we don't have a lot of, I don't even know if we have any middle schools that actually do cheer. And I think it's because of the funding.
Oh.
So then we
Well,
don't
that
get,
makes sense,
we don't get any like feeder athletes,
Okay.
which brings me to like, you get the athletes that are like doing all-star cheer, like club cheer.
Oh, okay.
But then it's a hard transition sometimes, like or they want to do both, and you can't do both because of the schedules, you know. But
Yeah.
I love it. I came from a really good program. Luckily, my coach, her name is Caroline Hernandez. She retired at 37 years of coaching and teaching.
Oh, wow.
And at the same time, the same year that she retired was the same year that I took the first year position, and she offered me the program down there.
Oh.
And my husband was like, no. He was like, something's got to give. Because at that point, I was doing so much. He's like, you're telling me you're going to drive down to Nogales 4 times a week. And then once you get into football season and all this stuff, which I would have loved. But then I also thought about the logistics, and this gets into like parenting, right? Like there was about 8 or 10 athletes that I had coached at a junior level.
Okay.
And I didn't want to be in a program where people knew me, because I feel like at that point, people expect something different from you. So I was like, let's not do that. Let's go in with a clean slate. And I did. And CDO has been great. I have an amazing athletic director. He backs us up. He's amazing. You know, the district and all the funding and all that stuff is a conversation for another time, but I feel like that's with everybody.
Yeah, it's with all the districts. Funding is probably the number one thing that you have to fight for.
And the thing is with cheer specifically, it's a 3-season sport. And it's not, okay, I say 3-season, I take that lightly. The girls went to nationals in February. We were in Anaheim, February 13th through the 16th. They had half of February off, all of March off, and then we started open practices in April. So like, it's year round. We have tryouts this year. We give them 2 weeks off. We start summer practices in June. We go to camp in July, and we start in August.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, you have to be ready for
football.
football.
I get paid for. I get paid from August to February.
Oh,
That's
wow.
it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you guys don't want to know how many hours I put into this, but that's just part of it. You have to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like anything else. I mean, you have to have that passion for what
Yeah.
you're doing.
Yeah, and I do love it. And luckily, like with time, now we've got an assistant coach who's amazing. Her name is Kira, and having her has been better for both of us because when it's just you and you have to carry the girls all the way through for the entirety of the year, the off time is minimal.
Okay.
And there was times there where I considered, I was like, I don't know if I want to do this next year. I don't want to do it. And even this year, I talked to her and I was like, I don't know that I'm ready to come back this year and that I could tell you that I can give you 100%. And she was like, well, let's lay out the logistics and see what we can do. She's like, I'm not ready to be done. And I said, okay. And we did. And we came up with a game plan, which we do usually, but it's just more of like, no more Saturday practices.
Okay.
And if the girls aren't ready, they're not ready for competition. And like also putting more responsibility on the girls of like, hey, we're here for you guys, but you need to show up and give 100% because if you don't, we're not going.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
So
That's realistic. That's being in the real world.
yeah. And that's also
Yeah.
like, I think having those conversations early on with the parents, we have like these, my biggest piece of advice for anybody that's looking into coaching, like a cheer contract agreement, like we have an agreement for the entire year,
Mhm.
but we also have a mandatory tryout meeting before tryouts.
Okay.
And essentially we just go through all the rules, all the changes, and we're like, this is what we're looking to do. These are the expectations. If you don't like it, that's totally okay. But there's about 18 other programs at CDO that might suit your athlete a little bit better.
Yeah.
And it works out. Like nothing changes. The rules are the same. So if you're new to coaching or thinking about it, write down your non-negotiables and stick to them. That was my coach's biggest piece of advice. She was like, if that's a hill you're going to die on, she's like, you die on that hill from start to finish. And I was like, yes, ma'am. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about instilling that culture because you're brand new to CDO.
Yeah.
So,
The first couple years were hard.
yeah.
I think year 1 and 2 hard in different ways.
What were you looking for in that first year or two?
The first, I don't think it was so much what I was looking for. I think the athletes and parents are looking for what the vibe is. Like, what are we
Okay.
going to get away with? Like, where can we push and where can we not?
Okay.
And that's hard because as a first year coach, you're not wanting to rock the boat. Like what, like I started my first year, I think we had 9 girls show up at spring tryouts. I took 5 to camp, 5 girls. And then this past season, we took 15 to camp and we ended up with a team of 18.
Oh, wow.
So the
Okay.
program has grown exponentially, but I think the only way to really back yourself and the protocols that you have is to ensure the growth.
Mhm.
So sometimes we get parents that complain about XYZ or maybe they're not in accordance to whatever, but it's never in correlation with the progress of the girls, right? Like because the progress is happening. And if
Right.
not, like you see it, you've seen it. It's not, yes, cheer is a complicated sport, but like even my AD was like, what your girls are doing now is light years from what they were doing 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Like it's completely different. I think that knowing that I came from such a good program and the culture being something so important, I needed to find a way to mimic that.
Okay.
And I really feel like when it comes to building something, there has to be such a strong foundation of one, the rules and the expectations, the things that you're not going to budge on,
Mm-hmm.
and just who you are as a coach. Because I think that I don't think everybody should coach. I'll be completely honest. Like I've heard of some horrific situations with certain coaches. And we're not like that. I always tell the parents, like, I don't yell at your kids. Like I'm stern, but I don't yell at your kids. And also my assistant coach, we coach, like we align so well. The only difference is that she has a softer voice. So if you want her to talk to your child, that's fine. But she's going to say the same thing. So I feel like when it came to the culture part of it, we wanted a program that allowed growth, community, and exposure to the girls for more. Like it's not, yes, you cheer on Friday Night Lights, but you are also at the Dolphin events on Saturday morning helping the junior cheerleaders. And you're also, we have a parent who's really amazing at community service events. And this is where it gets sticky, right? Because we're trying to find a balance. But she put in charge, there was the very first principal at CDO turned 100 years old. So they had a little like parade for him, which I thought was so cute.
Huh.
So we had like 8 of our girls come out leading the parade with their pom-poms, like all those things that create community. Showing up to the middle school for the color run at Mesa Verde Middle School. Like all those.
That's huge.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
important, but it also gives the girls exposure and it gives a program exposure because now you have these little girls being like, oh,
I want
wanna
to do that. Exactly.
Yeah. So that was really important to us. And I think that we've done a really good job. It does get overwhelming.
Yeah.
But I will say we have really amazing parents that also have been able to take some of those roles off our hands. So that's always helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, with that, let's take a quick sponsor break, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes with Southwest Flavor.
Shipping packages is a facet of modern commerce. At Tucson Pack and Ship, we work with major delivery companies to make sure your goods get where they need to go. In addition to shipping, we also offer private mailboxes, notary services, and document shredding. We'll also safely pack your valuable items. Tucson Pack and Ship, Tucson's one-stop packing and shipping source.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Spring is here, and the hot summer temperatures are not far away. Your air conditioning system is one of the biggest expenses in your house. Maintaining your air conditioner is critical to keeping you cool all summer long. Protect your investment by calling Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or picturoxcooling.com for fast, friendly, and professional service you deserve.
Picture rocks cooling, heating and plumbing.
TRAC stands for Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids. It's a favorite service organization for the Wakies to support. TRAC, located at Dodge and River, is a one-of-a-kind ranch that offers children of various needs an opportunity to serve through interaction with animals. It's a win-win for children and all of our beloved animals. TRAC is eligible for your Arizona tax credit donations now through April 15th. To find out how to get a dollar-for-dollar credit off your Arizona tax bill and help kids and animals, head over to tracktucson.org and go to the Support TRAC page to find out more. Make sure you tell TRAC my boy Smooch the Mini Donkey sent you.
If you ever have water damage or mold, your only call should be to Steamy Concepts.
Yeah, but what if the insurance company says to hire someone else?
Nope, Steamy Concepts works for you and not them.
The internet has tons of options.
No way, you don't gamble with water damage.
But the handyman knows a different guy.
Absolutely not. No way, you just call Steamy Concepts today.
But some companies are cheaper.
And you get what you pay for. You don't want to mess with water damage wannabes.
We're calling Steamy Concepts today.
Welcome back to Southwest Flavor. So, Veronica, you're also a personal trainer.
I am.
Yeah.
This is actually a perfect little intro here. So I am currently running a 8-week summer shred. I started a group called the Barbell Babes in January of 21.
Okay.
And it just started as a small program. I started it as a back to basics program. So people that wanted to get into weight training, into getting comfortable with barbell work. And I had like 14 girls sign up, and we did it for a month. And
Okay.
it was twice a week on Monday, Wednesday. And then when the month ended, they were like, okay, so can we do this again? And I was like, I mean, yeah, we can do it again. So we kept it as a monthly class. It was only one class twice a week in the evenings. And eventually we changed the name from Back to Basics to the Barbell Babes. So if you know me or follow me, you'll hear me talk about the Barbell Babes all the time. But they are starting an 8-week shred on Monday. I have
Okay.
registration open until Friday. If you're interested in that, please shoot me a message on Instagram and you can see all the info on there. Essentially, you have both online and in-person options. In-person's
Oh,
obviously with me.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so you can do it from anywhere if you're out of state or if you want to do it from home or I'm not going to say from home. It's like a gym membership. Like if you don't want to come into Pursuit, you can go somewhere else.
Yeah. Some people aren't comfortable going
yeah.
into a gym.
Yeah. I get that completely, but I always tell people, I'm like, give the barbell babes a chance. Like we'll really open you up. It's a lot of fun. A lot of
So
girls.
with the barbells, are you focusing on core, or do you just want to tone your arms, legs?
Everything. So
okay.
we are nailing down full body workouts 2 to 3 times a week. There's a split. I call it like we do full push, full pull, full lower. And we just hit everything. So I think it's mostly the message is like, yes, the girls that have been there have already gotten comfortable, but it's also, like yesterday, I had this girl who like she was chest pressing and I looked over at her and I said, Jen, those weights are cute. And she was like, okay. Because like, sometimes you just get into the rhythm of doing something. You don't even realize that you're like, oh, I'm only like I can go heavier.
Yeah, you want to challenge yourself a little
it's
bit.
good to have somebody to challenge yourself. And it's also really nice to show up and not have to think about like, what am I going to do? How many reps? How many sets? So I take care of all that for you. For the program specifically, again, online or in person, it includes the workouts. It includes a nutrition guide according to you. I have somebody who's menopausal doing it. I have somebody postpartum. I have a vegan. I have somebody who's in college. So like literally we can make the meal plan as more flexible to you as possible. And then bi-weekly check-ins and weekly challenges. So the workouts with us are just, again, like push, pull, lower, but they're strength training workouts. So yes, we do a little bit of cardio usually at the end of class for like 5 minutes. And it's never like, oh, you're going to run for 5 minutes. It's like, okay, we're going to slam the ball. We're going to jump a little bit, do some core work. There is core work in there.
Okay. That's good. Core work's always good.
So it's a great program. It's a great group of girls. As it grew, now there's also a morning crew. So morning crew 6 a.m, evening crew at night, and then there's a late morning 7 a.m. class.
Wow.
I say late morning. It's literally like 7 a.m.
So someone can like that's just a beginner can just jump in there and
you can be whatever.
Since you've already had this class going.
Yes, I've had this class going for so long. So I just recently actually had somebody start last week. Her name is Lily.
Okay.
And she has some experience, but because the other girls already know what they're doing and they know what the expectation is and what they should be doing and how to read the board, I can very much so be like, all right, guys, go through the entire workout. And then I told Lily, I was like, I'm going to gravitate towards you a lot more today. I'm not picking on you. I just want to make sure that you feel comfortable, that you don't have any questions. I always tell people 2 weeks tops. That's all you need. Like within 2 weeks, you get the flow of class. You know what you're doing. You know where to go. You know when
you want them to be safe also because they need to learn how to
and comfortable
move. Move
safe
certain ways
and comfortable. And especially with somebody new, you can't assume what like. Sometimes people are like, yeah, I've been lifting for 4 years. I'm like, okay, show me your squat. And then you're like, that does not look okay. But I would never say, hey, that doesn't look okay. I would say, hey, let's
work on your technique.
And see how this feels. And usually the answer is like, oh, that feels better. Yeah, it's like little tweaks here and there. But you can be either advanced, intermediate, beginner, like we can make it happen. So again, really good group of girls. Once we get past the 8 weeks, you'll probably have an intro right into the Barbell Babes. Because again, this is an 8-week program. It takes us all the way until the 4th of July, which is amazing.
Okay. Yeah.
And then if you decide you want to stay, you have an intro right to the Barbell Babes. And then I have a Barbell Babes monthly coordinator. So she coordinates the birthday calendar. She makes sure we have something to do that has nothing to do with the gym once a month.
So you have like a little outing?
Yeah, it's like an outing. So this month we're doing goat yoga on Saturday the 17th. And then last year, one of my big goals was to go to Disneyland with the Barbell Babes.
Really?
And we did. We went to Disneyland in October. It was a lot of fun. I paid for the Airbnb. I was like, everyone just take care of your ticket. And we had 12 girls in a massive Airbnb. It was a lot of fun. This year, we're going to Rocky Point.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In September. So if you want to be a Barbell Babe, you have to be a babe for like 4 months before you can go on the trip.
Yeah. But you're creating a community here.
Yes. That's like the most important part.
Definitely.
I always tell people like to be a part of something.
They do.
And it feels good when you find, I think also people talk about how like it's hard to make friends when you get older, but you're not going to make friends by sitting on your couch.
That's right.
You might as well make friends doing something that one's going to make you feel better, or two, again, can expand those horizons for other relationships. So that's what we try to do.
So earlier you mentioned a little bit about hormones and changing hormones and stuff. Tell us a little bit about, if you have that exercise regimen in your life, it's going to help you with your hormones. It's going to help you with your overall health.
I mean, hormones, This is, did you see me adjust myself? I'm like, let's talk about it. 9 in 10 women suffer from some kind of hormonal imbalance. That's a lot of people. So if you were a girl right now and everybody in this building, there's only going to be one that doesn't.
Right.
And it shows up in ways that we just feel like, oh, it's the excuse that we've gotten over the years is like, oh, it's just you're getting older and things are changing.
Yeah.
Which, yes, is true, but there's also preventative measures and things that you can do like supplementation, exercise, eating healthy nuts, seeds, like a bunch of different things, healthy roots, teas, the list goes on and on.
Just stay away from all that processed
yes,
junk and
stay
the
away from the
sugar
processed stuff. But my biggest piece of advice would be like, if you are struggling with your sex drive, if you're having hot flashes, if you're having a hard time losing weight, if you can't sleep through the night, if you're holding mostly your fat in your midsection, like all these things are signs of a hormonal imbalance. I learned this. I wish I had learned this earlier, but I heard someone say, don't guess, test.
Okay.
So I would highly suggest seeing somebody like an endocrine, what am I thinking? Endocrinologist. Sorry, I had a brain fart. Like an endocrinologist. If you go back to my episodes, I had Laura Villa on. Dr. Laura Villa was my endocrinologist. She was amazing because what happens is we try to self-medicate, self-fix, start guessing what we might be able to supplement. That's why I don't want to give you a right answer because I don't know the right answer according to somebody, right?
Right.
But I would definitely suggest getting into somebody that can run some labs and test to see what's going on. And this sounds mean, but it's not your PCP because your general doctor is going to draw blood. They're going to give you a chart that says everything within normal range.
Okay.
And if normal range is 6 to 10 and I'm at a 6.1, but ideally for my age, I should be at an 8. That test is going to say within normal range.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
But I'm still 2 points under. So again, highly, highly recommend seeing an endocrine specialist, endocrinologist to get those
Easy
tests
for you
done.
to say.
Yeah. And it's like the first step. But I also like don't ignore all the signs. The other thing that you're not going to like, not you, Ron, but everybody else is probably listening to this, stop doing HIIT workouts. They're going to ruin you. I did them for years, yes. Especially women who operate at a high level of stress pretty frequently. Your body can't tell the difference between movement stress, or work stress. Like to your body, stress is stress. So usually when women are struggling with hormones, it has a lot to do with your stress hormones.
Load,
so many things. So just I'll stop there because I could go about this forever, but strength training is the way to go. Ask any doctor, look it up. What's the best form of exercise for women, especially in menopause, perimenopause? It's going to say strength training.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Very good. Well, and you want to feel better.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the bottom line.
Usually the transition too, from anybody that does HIIT for a long time, and then they get into more like consistent strength training. I had a gal that was going to a gym, a HIIT gym here in Tucson, and then she started strength training with me, and her body composition changed drastically so quickly, and she feels better.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's good for your joints, it's good for your muscles. And I'm not saying that HIIT is like you shouldn't, but there's a time and a place. And most of the time, if you're struggling with a hormonal imbalance, that's not the time or the place.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, tell us real quick again how they can get a hold of you for your for your training.
Perfect. So you can follow the entire gym on Instagram at Pursuit Fitness AZ. You can follow me directly, allthings.gpsoto. And that's pretty much where I'm operating right now, just on Instagram. So feel free to follow me. The 8-week summer shred is pinned to the top of my grid right now, so you can see the information on that. And if you have any questions, let me know.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. That was fun.
Yeah, it was. All right. You just were with us for another episode of Southwest Flavor. Join us every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. And we'll see you on Thursday.